Hi, this is your host. Today we're going to learn about a famous composer. Want to know who it is? It's Beethoven. Let's start the timer and see if you can guess who this person is in 100 seconds. Leg mich im Kreis. Born in Bonn, Beethoven showed an early interest in music. At the age of 5, he could already play the piano, and at 7, he performed for the first time in public. His father was a musician, and his mother was the daughter of a famous composer. So you could say that Beethoven was born with music in his blood. He studied with his father until he was 12, then moved to Vienna to continue his musical education. There he met the famous composer Haydn and Mozart, but Beethoven soon developed his own style and became one of the most important composers of the classical period. His music was popular with the nobility, but he also wrote for the common people. He composed symphonies, piano, sonatas, string quartets, and operas. Some of his most famous works include Symphony No. 5 in C minor, Symphony No. 9 in D minor, and a Moonlight Sonata. But Beethoven's life was not all sunshine and roses. He suffered from depression and hearing loss, which made him withdraw from society. He spent his last years in Vienna and died there in 1827. So who was this famous composer? If you guessed Beethoven, you're right. How many of these facts did you already know? Let me know in the comments below. And do you forget to like and subscribe, so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Now, let's have a look at some words and expressions you need to understand this text. You can find them all in the dictionary. First, Beethoven was born in Bonn. To be born is to come into existence, to be produced or generated. For example, the baby was born in a small village. Or to be born with something in your blood means that you have something in your genes, something that you were born with. For example, music was in his blood. Then Beethoven showed an early interest in music. Early means happening or developing before the usual or expected time. For example, he showed an early interest in politics, or she learned to read at an early age. Next, he studied with his father until he was 12. To study is to devote time and energy to learning a subject or skill. For example, I study English, or she studies history at university. After that, he met the famous composer Haydn and Mozart. To meet is to come together by chance, or to make an appointment. For example, I met my friend at the mall, or we're meeting at the cinema later. Then he spent his last years in Vienna and died there in 1827. To spend is to have a pleasant or enjoyable time in a place. For example, we spent our summer in the mountains, or they spent their vacation in a small village. And finally, some of his most famous works include Symphony No. 5 in C minor, Symphony No. 9 in D minor, and the Moonlight Sonata. A work is something that someone has made, usually something big or important. For example, his latest work is fantastic, or her greatest work was the painting on the ceiling. Now it's time for you to shine. Take this quiz and tell us what you remember from the text. Which city was Beethoven born in? What was the name of his father? What was the name of his mother? What is the name of the famous composer who was the son of a famous composer? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And as always, thanks for watching.